Okay, so the title of this video is going to be Bird Box Enterprises, Bird Box Industries, Bird Box, because not because of the movie, but because the company I'm talking about, they're named after a bird. So, Bird Box. Bird Box came out like not too long ago, so Bird Box. Well, I started this job at this company at Bird Box Enterprises like not too long ago, and the interview process seemed okay. Seemed like a regular interview process. I did have to interview like 3 times before they told me I got the job. And to be honest, during each interview, I was feeling less and less like it was something I really, really wanted to do. But at the same time, like I recognized that it was an opportunity to be doing something different. Something that I felt would propel me to another level in my life and in my career. So I was like, I'll just give it a shot, give it a try, see what it's like. So it's a different than the jobs I've had before, or at least the jobs I'd had recently, like directly before this job. So it's like, just give it a shot, put my effort into it. This is a leap of faith. Just go for it. Because it could be like 10 years from now, I'm going to be so happy that I did this. So I just figured just keep going with it. Now, the main focus, or like the reason I started to question this place the most, was because of the pay. During the interview process, they told me that I would be making a base rate of a certain amount, up to a certain amount at the entry level of this company, of Bird Box Industries, because that's how they did things, and that it was commission based. Well, not commission based, but like I would be making sales that would have a commission attached to it, and the commission would be added to the base pay. So like that's why the starting pay was one number with the potential to make a certain number. But if my pay went above the higher number, I could still keep all of my money and it wouldn't be a problem, because there's technically a cap for starting for entry level people, and as you move up, the cap grows. But they were telling me like you make this much so that you still can have money in your check and all that stuff. But then if you make any sales or anything like that, it's going to get added to it, and if it goes above whatever cap number, they're not going to take it from you. They'll let you keep it. Like, I'll just say it. Like, it starts at 300 and you can go up to 500, but if you end up making 600, they're not going to take the money from you. You can have all 600. They're not going to take 100 out because like 500 was a cap. So that's what they told me, and it's like, okay, that's decent, especially since it was weekly. Like, that's really decent. That's more than I'd been making. So so I'll just do that. So that sounded okay. So they called me like the next day, or a couple days after that. They called me to let me know that I had gotten the job, and I was excited because like I'm excited that I got the job, because it's a different field, completely different. It's totally out of my comfort zone and what I'm used to. So why not? Let's get this done. Let's get to it. You know, I have things that I want to accomplish in my life, things that I want to do. This is like the first step in that. Go ahead. Even though I admit I did still have some reservations. Like, I'm not 100% confident, but I was like chalking that up to me being out of my comfort zone and me not being so confident in myself that I wasn't fully sure that I was capable of doing this job. And I just thought, like, that's just what it is. Like, the money thing seemed kind of sketchy, but at the same time they're telling me like it's 300 a week. You can make more than that and it's fine. So let me just go ahead and put everything into this and get this done. So I start the job. And like even the place to go, like going there, like I'm being like during the interview process, it took a minute to find the office first of all, and then when I get there they're playing like loud ass music and everything and it's like, what is this? Like, what is this? Is this like a real place? Like, is this a real place? Who, like, I've never been in any office where they're playing music this loudly, for one. For two, like, the vibe looked weird. Like like even like when I actually go to the bathroom and to walk into what they call their boardroom, like, really? To get to the bathroom, that's like, it looked like they don't really take care of that. Like, I don't, they're it was obvious, especially with the bathroom, that keeping the office looking a certain way wasn't a priority for a reason. Like, it was deliberately not a priority. Like, they didn't make sure things were stocked for a reason. But I talked it up like maybe this is a startup business or something. I don't know. But then I get there and like I'm told like, hey, like this person's gonna be your mentor, your leader. Like, they don't use like supervisor. They say mentor, leader. So they do call impacts where they teach you like the steps of the business. And the business is really you're just a sales rep, basically. My title was account executive, but basically I was just a sales rep where I'm just supposed to sign up as many customers as I can for this other company, who they're very like, yeah, they go by communications. Like, that's part of their title. So they're very big communications company in Connecticut. So at least here in Connecticut, they're a very big communications company that is not known for good customer service, which is why they hire out other companies to do that. And I was hired by that other company, Bird Box Industries, and to help them out, because like people always complain about their customer service all the time. So they hire people out. I was one of those people. That was my job. So they teach you like how to do everything, like the script, like how to pitch people, how to get them interested, how to close them for the sale, all that stuff, like how to do the software when you get the sale. And it, because that like legitimized it for me. Like, it was clear like it was not the office job that I thought it was, or the office job that I was hoping to get. Like, this is still an opportunity, especially since they promote 100% from within. If you go there, you start at the bottom, you could easily get to the top in like a year or two. Like, it will not take you long to move up this ladder. So it's like, that's even better. Like, I may not have the most confidence, but like I know my shit. like once I know it, once you teach it to me, I got it, and I got it down. I got it down pat. Okay, like I can absolutely do this. So part of the job, they teach you how to do the job, and then they take you out into the field because they have contracts with other businesses to be able to sell, or not sell, but market, because that's what it is. It's technically a marketing firm, but they just do like sales rep stuff. But yeah, they have contracts with other businesses to be able to market to people about this communications company. And we would spend a good at least 5 hours in the field doing that. And that depends on how far away from the office you are. If you're an hour or more away from the office, it's just 5 hours. If you're like down the street from the office, it's 6 hours or more in the field. Because they spend like 2 to 3 hours in the office prepping. That's doing the impacts. That's teaching to other people. that's doing the software for your customers, calling customers back or anything like that. And then just practicing how to do your job so that when you go out in the field, you're confident. Excuse me. Oh, I should have got some water. So that's what we did. And we just, I'm on my feet for like from 9 a.m. when I get there. I'm supposed to get there like 9 a.m. and we're not supposed to leave till 6:30. That's what I was told, but that's not what happened. Like, I'll say this, the training that they did there was on point. Like, if you're gonna go somewhere and train to be eventually a top manager, a top executive, like overseeing so many other offices and whatnot, like what they were teaching you at the bottom, absolutely they need to be teaching you 1000%, because everything they taught, like, I could use anywhere else. I did not have to stay there and only learn it from there, like, or use it there. Like, I could apply it to so many other things, no matter what, like, no matter where I was, where I went. So I'll give them that. Like, the training part was good. It's the pay that really was like, are you guys serious? Because this is not what you told me. I get my first check, which I was told that my first check is going to be held for 2 weeks for security purposes. I don't know what that means, but that's what the executive of this office said to me directly, that it was going to be held for 2 weeks for security. When she said that, I misunderstood. I took it to mean like my first 2 weeks checks are going to be combined into one, and that will be my first check. It wasn't. I got $80 for my first check. It was only 3 days of work, so $80 makes sense for 3 days. But at the same time, with me thinking that it was supposed to be way more than that, I was like, what's good? So I emailed the admin, who's the HR person there, who I was told by the top executive you have for my pay stubs, because I was asking for my pay stubs because I just need my pay stubs. And they're like, oh, you gotta email HR admin, email them, they'll get you everything that you need so that you can get your pay stubs. I did that. Nothing. Days go by, nothing. It's a week. Let's at this point, at the point that I got upset, it had been a week, and it had been 2 weeks at that point, because this is when I got my check. It had been 2 weeks, and I hadn't gotten anything from HR. So I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Because I still don't have any information on how to get my pay stubs, when I was told all I have to do is email them. And I had emailed them at least twice about the pay stubs, just like as a reminder. Like, I emailed the first one, let me get my pay stubs, please. Then I emailed another one just to make sure they got that email, because I don't know how many emails they're getting. So just to make sure, and I still hadn't gotten anything. By the time the 2 weeks rolled around, I'm seeing that my check's for $80. So I sent an email like, my check's only $80. I was told that it was going to be held for 2 weeks. And I understood that to mean that my first 2 weeks was going to be my check, yada, yada, yada. And then I get a call from my leader, my mentor, telling me like, oh, such and such, the top executive, not the HR person. The HR person is a completely different person, and they're who the top executive told me to email about this stuff. It's like, my leader, whose job it is not to be having this conversation with me, is not. She's calling me saying like, oh, the top executive said that you had a question about your check. What? First thought in my mind is, are you, what? Huh? How do you know this? I didn't talk to you about it. I didn't email the top executive about it. I don't have her email. I have the HR's email. So, and HR still has not gotten back to me. So how is it that the top executive knows what's in the email? 1. 2, why is the top executive telling you to call me about my check? You don't handle payroll. You are not in HR. Why are you talking to me about my check? You're not supposed to know anything about my check. I don't know anything about your check, so why do you know anything about mine? Third thing, since the top executive told you to talk to me about my check, that means that she has access to the emails and has seen all of my emails and has done nothing about them. But now that I'm complaining about how little money I've been paid, she wants to say something now, or rather, she wants to tell someone else to say something to me. Really, sis? Really, sis? Like, there should be very clear-cut lines between departments. If I'm supposed to deal with HR because they do the payroll stuff, if I'm supposed to deal with them about my check, they're the only people who should be talking to me about my check. The only reason a top executive should know anything about that is because, for whatever reason, HR themselves went to you because they had a question, which wouldn't make any sense because you don't do the payroll, or I came to you directly and talked to you about my check. And then you could tell me what to do, like emailing HR, since they're the ones that do the payroll. I should never, ever have a leader or supervisor or whomever who has nothing to do with the payroll calling me to talk to me about my check. That's disrespectful as fuck. I just, no. Like, I felt, so I didn't say it to her like that, but I felt, it was not good. I let her explain her little thing. She's like, well, your first check's only for the 3 days. It's not for both weeks. It's only for the 3 days. Okay. For 3 days, $80 makes sense. All right, fine. I got off the phone with her, got the number for HR because now I'm going to be calling them. And then I started cussing when I got off the phone because, like, I was just mad. Like, you're not supposed to be talking to me about my check. So, what? I get off the phone with her. I call HR to have them basically tell me the same. Well, no, they didn't tell me the same thing. Let me stop lying. I just went to ask them about my pay stubs because I sent 2 emails already, and I still, at least 2 emails, and I still haven't gotten my pay stubs. I still haven't gotten any access to anything. And she's like, oh, it's on a website. Like, there's a link to the people who really do the payroll or whatever, or the payroll company, I should say. There's a link to them. You got to sign up there, and then you have access to all your pay stubs, yada, yada, yada. Still didn't get it. First foremost, the person who I was on the phone with was not the person I was familiar with. I was familiar with 2 people for HR. I had only ever known that there are 2 people for HR. I have never seen or heard this third person who I was on the phone with at all at any other time. Now, that's not really cause for concern or anything because HR can have, like, as many people as possible, but I'm just saying, I've been here 2 weeks. I've only seen 2 people. In all that time, I've only ever seen 2 people. Even when I did a pop-up, I only seen 2 people. So who is this third person? This random third person who told me her name, so I have her name. But at the same time, like, I never heard of her before, and I hadn't seen or heard of her since that phone call. So it was like, what? But I knew she was in the office. I knew that she was at least in the office because I could hear the background noise of the office, of what the office actually sounds like, the music that we play there, the people, especially the people in the background, like, those are my coworkers, those are their voices. So she is in the office. I've just never seen her before, to the point where I'm thinking like she was HR for the other company. I don't know, it's not that big of a deal, but it was still a little sus to me, just a little bit. But then she sends me a link that didn't work. It brought me to the site, but it didn't really do anything else. Like, it said that I need a registration code. So first of all, I stayed on the line with her to make sure that the links got emailed to me. And then I stayed on the line to make sure I could be able to access the link, like open it up and go to it. And I was like, there's a registration code. And she's like, what? That's weird. You're HR. This is what you do. How is this weird? You should already know about this. Like, if it says I need a registration code, that's something you should have already known. Especially since the link to the company that does the payroll was the same payroll company for my previous job that I had, like that I resigned from the month before. They, when after I resigned is like, okay, you still, like, even though I didn't ask them about this because I had already gotten all my pay stubs from them, I printed everything out before I resigned just to make sure, just to be on the safe side. They still sent me an email on their own with a link and registration code to the same company so that I can enter into it and still have access to my pay stubs if I need them for my records. They did that on their own. Now here it's like that Bird Box Industries, it's like pulling teeth. I have to constantly keep being on top of you. I have to email you. I have to talk to people in person for them to be like, oh, you still got to talk to such and such person. Now, when I'm asking for this registration code, it's like, oh, that's weird. And then, the top executive has that information. What? The top executive who said, like, they don't have anything to do with payroll? Who told me to email HR in the first place about this? They're the ones with the registration code? Okay. All right. Can you get to them? Oh, they're in a meeting right now, so I don't know. Like, I'll try to get it to you within the hour. Okay. She does have meetings every day. Every day that I'm there, she only has just enough time to do the crew meetings in the morning, and then she's in interviews and whatnot for the entire rest of the day. Okay. That is a believable lie. If it's a lie, it's at least a believable one. If it's the truth, then it's the truth. I already know this. All right, fine. So then can you just get it to me within the hour? Okay, you said the hour. You know what? Better yet, I'll give you till 2 p.m. Can you get it to me by 2 p.m.? This is like 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. So, like, can you get it to me by 2 p.m. at least? It's like, okay, no problem, sure. 5 p.m. rolls around. I still don't got that email. So then I send another email. Like, I still need the registration code. What happened? Like, I still need it. Still no response. Really? So the top executive who allegedly has a registration code, who's already seen my email regarding my $80 paycheck, to the point where they felt the need to tell somebody else to call me, not in HR, but somebody else to call me to talk to me about my paycheck, sees this email, because if you've seen the one about the $80, you've seen this one too. All right? And still, I don't have nothing for my registration code to get to the pay stubs? Really? And I'm being told on the phone that you're the one who has it? Okay. I go in. Oh, I still haven't gotten the registration code for my pay stubs. I'm talking to the top executive at this point. Like, what happened? Oh, you gotta talk to HR because they handle payroll. I don't have anything to do with payroll. Again? Okay, sis. I'll send yet another email. Now I'm doing this specifically so that I have a paper trail at this point. Because I can call you as many times as I want to. These phone calls I know are not being recorded. I'm not recording them because I don't know how to do that on my phone. So at least I'm having a paper trail saying that I'm letting you know I still don't got my pay stubs. I still need information on X, Y, and Z, yada, yada, yada. I still got to go back to this person again. So I'm calling when I can. I'm sending more emails about these pay stubs. Still getting nothing. A week later.